CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Our annual Feeding Families campaign takes us to Midland tonight. There's a live shot from where we are supporting the local Salvation Army and families who need it most. Good evening. It's a big night for our team as we're back in the community for our Feeding Families food drive. This is our last stop for the year. Our team, joined by Pure Country and Bounce Radio, will be wrapping up weeks of collecting donations out on the road, but not without one last hurrah. Let's say hello to Luke. He's live tonight at Canadian Tire in Midland. How excited are you, Luke?
Sarah, we're absolutely thrilled, and unfortunately it is our last stop, but you know what they say, we always save the best for last. So that's why we are here at Canadian Tire in Midland for our Feeding Families campaign. And like previous stops, everything collected has gone right back into the community, and tonight is no different. So everything collected here tonight will be going directly towards the Salvation Army right here in Midland. So if you are in the Midland area and you got, well, maybe nothing to do tonight, come on by the Canadian Tire right here in Midland. Take a look around the store. You can get some donations, and once again, it goes directly back into the community. It is our very last stop here, our very title sponsor of the Peggy Hill team as well, so big thanks to her. And we are going to be having a great time. We're going to be hearing from the Salvation Army. We're going to be hearing from Canadian Tire, as well as our radio partners. Steph Seidel is here as well. And we cannot wait to get it started. It might be gloomy outside, but you can blame KC for that. We are going to be having a great time here. Sarah?
I'll make sure to blame Casey for that. Thanks, Luke. We'll see you a little later in the newscast. But right now, a big shakeup for the province. New legislation is being introduced aimed at speeding up decisions, cutting costs, and boosting housing infrastructure projects in fast-growing regions, with some big changes in store for Simcoe County.
We're supporting them in this endeavor by reducing Niagara's Regional Council to 13, 12 plus a chair, and Simcoe County's council to 17 members, 16 plus a chair or warden. Collectively, this legislation is another step in our government's commitment to protect Ontario. We are working closely with our municipal partners to overcome the challenges that slow progress and hinder our province's growth.
If passed, the so-called Better Regional Governance Act would give the Minister of Municipal Affairs the power to appoint regional chairs in 8 regions, including Simcoe County, Durham, Halton, Muskoka, Niagara, Peel, Waterloo, and York. With that, each chair would receive strong chair powers to streamline decision-making. Now, breaking down what all this means for us here at home, especially in Simcoe County, is CTV's Jack Morris. He joins us live now. He's been breaking it all down. Jack, what can you tell us?
Well, Sarah, currently all the mayors and deputies under the county of Simcoe have a seat at the table. If this legislation goes through, that absolutely changes. The 32-member council, Simcoe County Council, gets cut down to just 16 mayors plus an appointed chair. Clearview Township Mayor Doug Measures didn't find out about the proposed changes until we reached out to him today.
I find that to be kind of offensive to the roles that we play as mayor.
He has serious concerns on what they mean for decision-making in our region, particularly language suggesting Simcoe County could move from using a weighted vote as an exception to the rule.
The weighted vote system is very unfair, in fact, procedurally unfair, given that the greater good of the county and the work that the county does is to serve all of our municipalities.
In weighted voting, each member gets a number of votes based on the population they represent. Simcoe Warden Basil Clark is in favor of the changes and says they're minor.
We already have a weighted vote in Simcoe County. That's not changing. We're just giving the deputy mayor's votes now to the mayor, so each municipality still has the same amount of weighted votes that they had before.
Currently, any member of council can call for a weighted vote. Otherwise, council operates under a simple majority of members. The county discussed a similar change to shrink the council last year, but half the represented municipalities voted against, scuttling the plan.
The original bylaw passed the House 17 to 15. And then it actually failed the triple majority when it was sent around the local municipality. So this is something that the county council has wanted to try and streamline, make decisions faster.
New rules say the Minister of Municipal Affairs can decide if the council will use weighted voting. He will also appoint a chair of council who will have similar powers to strong mayor powers.
The warden needs to be an elected official, in my opinion. I think that's part of what democracy is and good governance is.
Well, Sarah, it isn't yet clear how the minister will choose that appointed chair, but with 16 mayors already on council, that 17th seat couldn't be one of them. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Jack. Time now to step behind closed doors. Local officials got a first-hand look today at our County of Simcoe HART Hub, a safe haven for people seeking help with homelessness and or addiction. CTV's Rob Cooper brings us more.
Well, before we jump right in,
the Homeless Addiction Recovery Treatment, or HART Hub of Simcoe County, is approaching its first full year in operation.
The County of Simcoe was one of the first to start, in fact, the first to start back in June of 2025.
The hub is a regional network of care teams focused on providing homelessness and addiction recovery treatment support to people with urgent needs.
Individuals could work with us through treatment, which is a 28-day cycle, and then decide that that's all the supports that they needed. Or individuals could stay with us through supportive housing and stay connected to us for as long as they need.
We need change in Ontario. We need a change to approach in Ontario that focuses on making rehabilitative services, support services, mental health services readily available day in and day out inside of the communities that are struggling with massive addiction and massive mental health and homelessness.
Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre, Waypoint Centre for Mental Health, the Canadian Mental Health Association, the county and other organizations team up to offer their services as one. The hub operates at a cost of about $6.3 million a year. So far, about 100 people have already gone through the recovery program, with hundreds more being serviced.
Coupling health intervention with homelessness and the needs and the complexities of homelessness is the answer. If you layer onto that affordable housing, you've got a health solution and a housing solution and an economic solution to the same problem. That's something we haven't seen before.
The Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police supports the province's move to a HART Hub system.
We know that we cannot arrest our way out of this. We know that criminalizing this societal level issue has not worked. It hasn't. So this is a different approach. So if we know it doesn't work, this is a potential avenue that does.
Now, the Heart of Simcoe County is funded by the province. If you know anyone who's in need of its services, you can simply reach out to the County of Simcoe. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
A weekend often filled with family and in many cases treats is upon us. It's a busy time with lots of preparation, including keeping our animals safe. While Easter can bring fun festivities with family and candy-filled baskets, it can also lead to trouble for our four-legged friends.
A lot of people think of chocolate first, and that's definitely a concern, but honestly, Easter hazards go way beyond that. We also worry about things like ribbons, gift wrap, flower packets, and seasonal flowers like lilies.
First, chocolate contains theobromine and caffeine, and the darker it is, the more toxic it becomes, making baker's chocolate and cocoa powder the most dangerous. Then when it comes to lilies, an unknown toxin.
Lilies, when any part of the plant are ingested, can cause kidney failure for cats and vomiting and diarrhea in dogs.
But it's not just edibles.
Cats in particular love string and ribbon, and those can cause some really serious intestinal blockages.
So what are the signs?
Sometimes it starts with pretty general signs. Vomiting, diarrhea, drooling, lethargy, just not acting like themselves as well. Some pets get restless, some hide, some stop eating, and then there are the bigger red flags like trouble breathing, tremors, signs of pain, repeated vomiting.
And what do we do?
Legally, we can't give any medical advice, but based on symptoms and what's going on, we can at least say, hey, this sounds really bad. You should come on in so we can take a look, or, continue monitoring at home and just reach out to your primary care veterinarian first thing in the morning.
Finally,
Easter should be fun. Most pet emergencies this time of year are preventable, and a little extra caution with treats, flowers, and decorations can go a long way.
And if you do happen to get in trouble, the Veggie Hour for Pets in Etobicoke, which we just heard from, is open 24/7. Many people across the city are busy running errands ahead of the holidays, so a reminder that there are some changes to city services. City Hall and rec centers will be closed on Friday, but City Hall also shut down on Monday. Barrie Transit will not run Friday or Sunday. Good news for residents, there's no change to curbside collection, and yard waste pickup resumes on April 6th. If you're heading downtown, parking is free on statutory holidays, but waterfront spots remain enforced. Time now to head back to Midland. That's where we find Casey Colby. What is this? Are you having a hopping good time?
I am indeed, and I'm of course I am the Ottawa Valley Easter flying squirrel. Of course I am. And with me is Amy from Canadian Tire. And Amy, who is this?
This is Maggie, our porch goose.
Porch goose, dressed as a bunny. I'm looking forward to the story on that. How about the story first? Thank you very much. Stick around, please. Oh, make sure you're properly dressed for the forecast, too. I want you to have a look at this right now as we take a first look at the forecast. Here we go, weather watches and warnings. And right off the top, we're looking at a rainfall warning, Muskoka Parry Sound and the northern part of the Bruce Peninsula. 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall. It could have already started. We've had some showers here in the Midland area, of course, just outside Canadian Tire, for the Feeding Families food drive, which every porch goose and hopping flying squirrel wants to be a part of. Let's continue on right now with the forecast. First look at the forecast brought to you by the graveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert, I might add. 2 degrees outside our beautiful Barrie studios in beautiful Barrie, 33 Beacon Road. It's where the CTV studios are. Winds for the time being out of the east, 26 kilometers an hour. And gusting as high as about 60 a little later on. Say, how about the temperature outside your door right now as we speak? Let's have a little look-see. Looks like 4 degrees in Alliston, 3 in Toronto, 3 in Newmarket, 2 in Parry Sound, 1 in Gravenhurst. I'll let you know right now that it's 3 degrees here in the Midland area, 3 in Owen Sound, and 2 in Mount Forest. Can you show us a little bit of the radar satellite? Oh, my goodness, there it is. Look at that. Maggie the porch goose is just cringing, and as we back it up, we have a look at the size of this system that is encompassing our area. Sure, everybody gets rain. There is a risk of some freezing rain, freezing drizzle, and possibly some snow flurries kicking around, but rain, yes. As stated, rain amounts 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall. So we got to somehow stay warm, Maggie. Amy, we somehow have to stay warm. More on the porch goose talk, and we have all that coming up in just a few minutes' time. But are you ready to show your tails? Show your tails and give Sarah a shake. There they are. All part of the Feeding Families food drive. Come on down and say hello. We've got more friends. Max is over there too. Max, no tail? No tail, Sarah. More coming up in a few minutes' time.
I'm not sure I'm going to make it through this one. Okay, let's talk Artemis II, and I'll try not to be as excited as I was last night. The crew is on the second day of their mission to the moon. The 4-person crew, which includes Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, has already tested some vital systems on the spacecraft. That includes the portable water dispenser, which will provide drinking water and rehydrate their food. The crew will also get some time to acclimate to the space environment, and then they will participate in the first space-to-ground communication. Now, a little-known fact, Jeremy's brother-in-law, is Barrie Fire Chief Kevin White. He spoke with me earlier today from Florida.
He's on his way to the moon. It's loud for us. We were 3 miles away in Banana Creek, and the ground was shaking. The stadium we were in was shaking, and you can literally feel the heat, which is unbelievable to see that rocket take off.
Good roll pitch. Roger, roll pitch.
So they'll be traveling over 1 million kilometers in 10 days. And that's a remarkable feat. But the moon gets as close as 450,000 kilometers away when they go around it. There was definitely some tears of nervousness, but tears of excitement as well for the crew to be safely into space. And that happens much faster than you think. A total of about 8 minutes, they're right in space. Jeremy Hansen is such a fantastic gentleman. He's a really down-to-earth, humble individual. He's come from the fighter jet community, but he's really a fantastic human. And that's one thing that we are very excited to have him as a voice for Canada while he travels around the moon.
And you can watch our full 10-minute interview with Jeremy Hansen's brother-in-law, Barrie Fire Chief Kevin White, on the CTV Barrie website. To our courts now, where a family who lost a loved one left disappointed after a 46-year-old man was released from prison after 2 years. CTV's Mike Arsaelides explains.
The system's failed, again, for sure.
Dustin LeBlanc's loved one's heartbroken as his killer, 46-year-old Jeff Young, walked out of the Barrie courthouse with time served after pleading guilty to manslaughter in September. Young admitted he stabbed and killed his 33-year-old friend in Collingwood 3 years ago. The court heard Young and his partner lived in their Matthew Way apartment where an argument between them broke out about Young's deepening drug abuse. The court heard Young was heavily intoxicated and sleep deprived for 4 days, high on fentanyl and crack cocaine, and was being kicked out of the apartment when he called LeBlanc to help him. And that's when the court heard LeBlanc punched Young twice in the face, breaking his orbital bone. Young was then seen swinging a knife, stabbing LeBlanc once in the heart. Young was arrested and originally charged with second-degree murder. After nearly 2 years behind bars, Young was granted bail last April. The Crown had initially sought 6 to 7 years in prison. That request changed today, with the Crown proposing a joint submission of a 4-year sentence, less extra credit for time spent in jail under harsh lockdown conditions, and further credit for restrictive conditions while out on bail. The Crown told the court Young's killing of LeBlanc was, quote, as close to an accident as one can get, saying there was no premeditation, animus, or hostility between the two men, thus resulting in a fit sentence of time served. After breaking his leg in his 20s, the defense told the court Young became addicted to painkillers and opiates. Later, when Young's relationship with the mother of his children ended, his drug issues resurfaced. The court heard he has earlier convictions for assault and robbery. Lawyer Jeffrey Fisher told the court Young has completed counseling for his addiction issues. Fisher saying Young was remorseful and did not mean to stab LeBlanc. Young chose not to address the court. LeBlanc's family insulted by the sentencing decision.
It's affected my whole family. It will forever. It will forever. So the fact that this is our justice that we got, it's, pardon my French, but it's pretty up.
As part of his sentence, Young is placed on probation for 12 months and is banned from having weapons on him for life. Mike Arsledy, CTV News, Barrie.
Southbound Highway 11 in Orillia was partially shut down today, but not for a typical traffic problem. 2 cows were seen wandering near the interchange at Old Barrie Road. Police officers, along with the owner, worked to corral them, and the roadway has since reopened. We've been told that the cows are now back home, safe and sound. You never quite know what you'll see in Simcoe County. Let's get back to our Feeding Families food drive. It's in full swing. Tonight we're collecting donations live to help families put food on the table. Let's go back to Luke. He joins us live tonight with more. How are things, Luke? Do we have people stopping by yet?
So Sarah, we have so many people stopping by tonight and donating really what they can. The best part about being here in Midland at Canadian Tire is that all the donations collected today are going right back into the community here at Salvation Army. Now, we are joined by Canadian Tire. Mike Ferris is here with us this evening. Mike, thanks so much for being with us. Just first off, the importance of doing something like this right here in your community.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be here this evening and having you guys and Bounce up here feeding families across Simcoe County. I think it's important, especially this weekend, Easter weekend. A lot of families are getting together, and a lot of families don't typically have the budget to put food on the table. And we're just honored to bring some attention to that, working with the local Salvation Army and the Feeding Families initiative the CTV News is putting together.
And I know that, when people walk into Canadian Tire, they're looking for something to donate. Well, Canadian Tire's got a lot of items in here that you can go on and grab, and it goes right back into this community.
Exactly. We have people think about just, the food drive is going on, and we see lots of great donations, both cash donations here this weekend and food. But there's a lot of items in the home that are required, whether it's cleaning supplies, even basic stuff like toilet paper, paper towel. We've got diapers. There's other products that you can get that all go to help feed families because it allows their budget to be stretched.
And you are doing something spectacular here for this shoot. You are matching donations, I heard.
Yes, this weekend right through to the end of day business on Monday. Again, as part of our Support Local, Support Canadian, we are going to be matching donations up to $10,000 this weekend here. So you can come to the store throughout the weekend. If you're purchasing something, make a donation of $5 or $10, and I'm going to match that up to $10,000 at the end of Monday.
Oh, absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for doing that. Just how important is it, once again, just for you to be here and see the people coming in and donating? What's it like seeing the community really come up in times of need?
You know what? This area is fantastic for donations. They're a fantastic community. Midland people, Penetang people, right across Tiny Township, Tate Township, huge hearts. And we see it, whether we're here for the toy drive, we see it at the Feeding Families. This is a community that gives, and they're just great people, and they make a great response to a great initiative here tonight.
All right, Michael, thank you so much for joining us here today. And once again, the Feeding Families campaign, we are here till 7 p.m. collecting donations. You can drop off donations right through the weekend as well, up to Monday. Sarah?
All right, we'll see Luke and the rest of the team a little later in the newscast, but on the other side of the commercial break, step back in time and stay the night. A historic waterfront site is opening its doors in a whole new way, why the experience at Discovery Harbour is more than just a place to sleep. Plus, how a 9-year-old from Barrie is making a lasting impact with his voice and his words on World Autism Day. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Barrie. A brand new experience is combining history with sleepover fun on Georgian Bay.
So you are looking inside one of the brand new overnight cabins at Discovery Harbour. We have 4 cabins like this on the water right on Georgian Bay at Discovery Harbour, and we have 3 on the Wye River at St. Marie.
Discovery Harbour is launching a new immersive and unique getaway where visitors can step back in time throughout the day, guided by costumed interpreters, and then stay overnight in cozy cabins right along the shores, sleeping in history.
We're right now in the mess hall of the officers' quarters.
The reason we wanted to do this was to offer an opportunity for people to connect with our historical sites in a more meaningful way. So as part of your stay, you're not just getting amazing views in a cozy cabin, you're also getting admission to a living history museum, and you're staying right on a historic site.
The new stays are part of a bigger tourism push by Huronia Historical Parks, which also launched 4-season cabins at St. Marie among the Hurons last fall. From fireside stories to waterfront views, it promises to be a fresh take on local history and a night you won't forget. Today is World Autism Awareness Day, and Gavin Gallant wanted to help people understand what it's like to live with autism. So the 9-year-old Barrie boy wrote his own book.
I know it can be hard having a different brain than most people.
Gavin's neurospicy brain explains how the autistic brain understands and operates in a different way. His family self-published the book, and it's doing very well on Amazon. Gavin says he's happy, thinking his book is helping everyone learn that a neurospicy brain is something to celebrate.
Well, people that have a different brain than most people can have a hard time. I want them to feel less alone.
Neurodiversity has been so misunderstood. He's been cooking since he was 2. He's been, I don't know, he potty trained.
Since I was 2.
Gavin regularly reads his book on Zoom to school classrooms around the region and even around the world. Athletes from across the pond are here in our city as the Barrie Zweibrücken Hockey Summit got underway today at the Allendale Arena with a fast-paced ice session.
We take this opportunity to improve our skills on the ice with special skills coaches from Canada.
This was just day 1 of the event that brings together youth, players, coaches, and tourists for a week of hockey and cultural exchange. Today's training gave players a full day on the ice, focusing on skills, drills, and edge work, and there's much more to come in the days ahead.
My mom called me and was like, what do you think about going to Canada, Barrie? And I was like, yeah, nice. I mean, it's an experience, one in a lifetime.
It's to help them improve their hockey skills, Canadian style, and give them a real, true Canadian experience, not just through hockey, but through our culture, and then some good touring around the province of Ontario.
The biggest things are the memories in the heart and the friends for life.
The summit runs through April 9th and is all about bringing players together to work on development and international collaboration. A reminder where you can find our website. You can not only see that full-length interview with Barrie Fire Chief Kevin White about Jeremy Hansen's exploration in space, you can also keep up on what's going on over the long weekend. ctvnews.ca/Barrie. We now know that the province is working with the federal government to expand the HST rebate to lower the cost of new homes. Joining us now to talk about what exactly that means is real estate broker Peggy Hill. Great to have you. What are some of these new incentives?
Great to be here. Yes, so the federal government and provincial government have aligned, and they've brought great news to us, because here's the issue. We have not had a shovel in the ground for 5 years. However, prior to that, we had all these new builds, and they've been sitting. So they're trying to incentivize people to buy all this inventory that's sitting. That's one thing. But then they're trying to incentivize the developers to start building, because guess what's going to happen if the builders don't stop building? We're going to be in the same mess we were in 2022 in about 3 or 4 years, because we already know we had a supply problem. Then you don't put a shovel in the ground for 5 years. What do you think is going to happen? So I think that they did great. I'm glad it wasn't just for first-time buyers, because most first-time buyers cannot buy $1 million home anyway. But this should unlock the middle ground. So this should do it. So here's to hoping. You know me, Miss Optimism.
And we love that. Now that we've turned the page on March, let's reflect on those numbers before we talk April.
All right. So March, year over year, our volume was pretty much the same. It was maybe down 1%. Like, that's nothing. That is nothing. And again, apples to apples, right? Last year at this time, tariffs were coming in, so people were very nervous. Now tariffs are still on the table, and we are expecting this year. Okay, I'll tell you about April. We're expecting this year to be heavier on the later half of the year, just because we have the CUSMA negotiations, and they're in July. So a lot is going to depend on that. But as far as March, we didn't lose any ground price point wise, month over month. I mean, year over year, we know we lost 11%, but we were losing that gradually through the year. It wasn't like, boom, March happened and we lost 11%. We lost that last year. But month over month, we're holding our own. So I think that's positive. And then April is just going to be that much better.
Leave us feeling
telling
good
you,
on a high note.
It's
Thanks
amazing.
A lot, Peggy.
Thank you.
All right, tonight is our Feeding Family Food Drive, the very last one. So let's head back out to Case.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's right. Feeding Families Food Drive here. I'm, of course, the flying Easter squirrel from the Ottawa Valley, and a woman just told me if you're a real flying squirrel for Easter, you should be handing out chocolate nuts. Not a bad idea. But nothing nuts about the fact that we've got a rainfall warning, Muskoka Parry Sound and the northern part of the Bruce Peninsula, up to 50 millimeters of rain this evening into tomorrow, and our weather watcher RT says, oh no, this is a picture of the perfect Easter weekend. Yeah, you're watching CTV News Barrie.
The Real Estate Spotlight is brought to you by the Peggy Hill team.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 1041.
And next week on the show, we're giving away gift cards to McDonald's.
And we have a sneaky concert announcement happening at 10 o'clock on Monday morning, and we might even have some Beat the Box Office tickets too.
So make sure you tune in weekdays from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win some pretty cool prizes.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your artistic side. I'd like to get my hands on that. Was it a painting of the orange cat? Kind of looked like mine. Puss. Next week, we are embracing spring. Glimpses of spring, blooming flowers, muddy trails, the sun in the sky. However it is showing up where you are, capture it in photos and email them to us. Picture this at ctv.ca. Let's head back to Midland. That's where we find KC tonight. He's our resident. What did you say? You're a flying squirrel?
I'm an Ottawa Valley flying squirrel from Easter. It's really big in the valley, isn't it?
Take your word for it.
Okay, I'll have to deal with that one later. Look at Sarah, we're here at Feeding Families Food Drive, and someone just donated some lovely, delicious, oh, the flying squirrels love a good peanut butter. Crunchy is preferred if you're a flying squirrel, but of course we love any kind of generosity, and we thank you very much for all that you've done for the Feeding Families Food Drive. We're here till 7 o'clock, me, Luke, and the whole gang. There they are talking, and hey, how you doing? How about the forecast, you say? Well, we do know that there is, in the weather watches and warnings, we are looking at a rainfall warning, as previously stated. Muskoka Parry Sound, the Tobermory area, which is, of course, North Bruce Peninsula, and we're looking at 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall. Everybody's had rain, and there's more where that came from. Let's talk about the forecast. Let's talk about the temperature outside your door as we speak. Let's talk about 4 degrees in Owen Sound. Yes, 4 in Owen Sound. Looks like 3 in Collingwood, 3 in Newmarket, 4 in Alliston. And there we go for the almanac, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at highs today of 3 and -1 as far as our highs go. And as far as record heat goes, well, how about here we go, 25 degrees. Well, I'm going to tell you it's actually 24.7 in 2010, and our record low was -15 in 1911. So those graphics are incorrect. 12 hours and 52 minutes of daylight for us to enjoy for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the forecast radar. And as we blast through this forecast radar, we do see, yes, certainly more active weather, northern part of the province, but nevertheless, showers and thunderstorms, and certainly the possibility of some freezing rain. So we're going to keep that in mind. Let's take a look. This is southern tip of Georgian Bay Lake, Simcoe. Overnight temperatures 6 and 8 degrees. Showers, thunderstorms certainly possible, and plenty of low-lying fog for tonight. Tomorrow, very mild for the bunny and the flying squirrels. Absolutely. Look at that, 16, 17 degrees. Cloudy skies. There is a 40% chance of a shower or 2 or 3 or 4. And winds 40 to 60 km out of the southwest. How about Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 6, 7, 8 degrees overnight. Mild, yes, indeed. Showers, thunderstorms, plenty of low-lying fog throughout our entire region, I might add. 17, 18, and 20 degrees and cloudy skies for tomorrow, and a 40% chance of shower activity. Yes, and the winds 40 to 60 km out of the southwest. This is Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 3, 5, 6 degrees for the overnight lows. We're looking at as much 30 millimeters of rainfall in some areas, possibly more actually, as per the rainfall warning. Could see as much as 50 millimeters of rainfall. And thunderstorms certainly possible for this evening. And then for tomorrow, well, more rain on the bunny and the Easter squirrel. 10 to 20 millimeters of rainfall anticipated for tomorrow. When does Mother Nature want to turn off the taps? Where can we find that answer? Well, we can find that answer in the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this. Starting in Simcoe County, where's the sun? Certainly not to be found on Saturday. 60% chance of shower activity, 8 degrees. We're cooling off still. Even a little further on Sunday, down to 3, 40% chance of shower activity. Sun on Monday, yes, 4 degrees, sun and cloud, and sun and cloud, 1 degree on the Tuesday. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York region. Have a look. It looks like 60% chance of showers and much cloud on Saturday, 8 degrees for the high, 5 on Sunday, slight chance of a shower. And then Monday arrives, Monday and Tuesday actually, fair skies, 5 and 2 degrees above the freezing mark. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton, have a look. Rain on Saturday. We've already established that in northern part of our viewing area. And on Sunday, well, there's a 60% chance of a few flurries coming down. Now, no set accumulation, but nevertheless, some flurry activity is certainly possible. 2 and -5. On Monday, there's the sun. Slight chance of a few flurries. 3 degrees, the best we can do. And Tuesday, and a high of 1 degree. 1 degree, you got to keep warm as a flying squirrel with 1 degree, that's for sure. Plenty of peanut butter and plenty of food. We thank you for your generosity. We're here for the Feeding Families Food Drive here at Canadian Tire in Midland. How you doing? I know, people love a flying squirrel from the Ottawa Valley. They really, ooh, of course, here we go. And there's Maggie. Maggie, how about a kiss for your flying squirrel? Oh, I wasn't sure if that was going to work, Sarah. Come on down, see us. We're here till 7 o'clock, Feeding Families Food Drive. Sarah, back to you.
Absolute madness has ensued. Let's head to Midland. Sounds of crunching ice could be heard today as the annual Icebreaker operation got underway. That is the Vincent Massey working to clear ice on the local waterways and to ensure safe navigation, both protecting the mariners and the environment. Residents can expect some delays near the waterfront areas. In the meantime, speaking of ice, the Barrie Colts will be lacing up again tonight in St. Catharines, hoping to take a commanding lead in their first round playoff series against the Niagara Ice Dogs.
Spencer initiates contact. Hayden Reed plays it only as far as Gardner. Backdoor Aitchison scores.
The Colts lead 2-1 after picking up a 5-2 victory Tuesday with the return of co-captain Kayshawn Aitchison, who scored a goal after serving that 2-game suspension to start the series. Colts head coach Dylan Moskowitz says having Aitchison back in the lineup helps the team both on and off the ice.
He scored a big goal, but more than that, he's our emotional leader. I think that's what Cash brings to the table. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, and not only does he do that for himself, but he drags his teammates into the fight with him. I think that was something that maybe we were missing a little bit of in game 1 and 2.
Salandria pulls the trigger and scores.
We don't become something we're not. We know what kind of team we are. We're a physical team. We're a fast team, and when we play like that, we know that works for us and we win games. So that's what we're just going to try to do tonight.
Game time tonight is set for 7 p.m. Game 5 is in Barrie on Saturday with puck drop at 7:30 p.m. at the Sadlin Arena.
The road to the Memorial Cup is brought to you by the Boots and Hearts Barn Burner Charity Hockey Game.
Now let's check back in with Luke, who is live at Canadian Tire in Midland with the latest on how tonight's donations are making a difference for the Salvation Army. Luke.
Well, Sarah, it's officially our last stop here on the Feeding Families campaign. Of course, we are in Midland at the Canadian Tire. We're seeing lots of people stopping on by, saying hi, offering some donations as well. And the best part about being here in Midland is everything donated today going right back into the community, right to Salvation Army. Now, we're going to be joined by Darlene Lucas from the Salvation Army here this evening. Darlene, thank you so much for being here. How cool is it to see the community really come out like it has tonight?
It's excellent. We can always count on the people of Midland here. They've always supported us. Anytime that we've put an ask out, we've always received. We're very blessed.
Yeah, the generosity here in Midland is next to none. I always tell people that when I'm here in Midland. Now, the Salvation Army, what kind of items are you guys in need of as we make our way into those summer months?
So our most popular items that go would be cereal, any kind of cereal, peanut butter, coffee's also a big one. Sugar, condiments over the summer.
Okay, very nice. So yeah, so in everything that you're in need of, you can actually find right here at Canadian Tire. So how cool is that? So we're here till 7 o'clock if you want to come on down. And now as we sit here, you know, you're seeing people come in, you're seeing people just, oh, how can we donate? How can we donate? The generosity, like you said, is next to none. How important is it when people are out here taking that extra initiative to kind of make a donation like they are here today?
Well, we're blessed, and it does go back right out to the community, everything that we receive. And the need is greater now, especially with the housing crisis and the cost of food prices going up.
Yes, I was just going to ask you, you've been with the Salvation Army now. How has that need increased? Are you seeing a wider demographic come in to the Salvation Army?
Yeah, we are seeing an increase in people, and we do expect that increase, you know, as the year unfolds, just because of the, you know, just the economic uncertainty with a lot of people.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for doing this for us tonight. And again, we are here till 7 p.m., Sarah. So come on down, make a donation if you can. And the best part about being here at Canadian Tire Midland, well, you can come in at any point this weekend and make a donation. They are collecting donations until Monday. And it's going right back to the Salvation Army. Sarah?
Appreciate that, Luke. Still to come here on CTV, pain at the pump. It continues. Gas prices in the region are surging. What's driving the spike and when we can expect a bit of a reprieve? Coming right up. Recapping our top stories, new legislation is being introduced to help boost projects in fast-growing regions. Currently, mayors and deputies from all 16 municipalities under the county of Simcoe have a seat at the table. If legislation goes through, it means that Simcoe County will go from 32 members to a 16-member council, plus an appointed chair. Local officials got a first-hand look today at the Homeless Addiction Recovery Treatment, or HART hub of Simcoe County. It is a regional network of care teams focused on providing homelessness and addiction recovery treatment support to people with urgent needs. Heading back now to Midland. That's where Luke is joined by one of our radio partners. She always brightens up the screen. There she is. Hiya, Steph. Are you guys having fun?
Sir, you're not going to say hi to me, but you're going to say hi to Steph, huh? That's okay. I get it. We're here at Canadian Tire in Midland for our last stop on the Feeding Families campaign. One of the coolest parts is, well, we get to be joined by our radio partners, Bounce 1041. We're joined by Steph. Steph, I heard you had a very lovely visit by a very young boy here who wanted to donate.
Yes, oh my goodness. We met Sully today, and Sully was walking across the parking lot with a bag he could hardly hold, and his dad kept trying to help him. He's like, I've got it, I'm making it my donation. And he brought a bunch of pasta sauce and pasta. They went to the grocery store on the way because they heard it on the radio, and then picked all his favorite items that he would like to find in the pantry. So such a cool story, and so great to see kids so young learning about helping other people.
Now, you've been with us a few times here on this Feeding Families campaign. How cool has it been to really see the community come out and step up in times of need right here in Midland, too?
Yeah, it's been so amazing. And honestly, the cash donations, too, tonight have been so shocking. Just so many people stopping by and giving towards this Feeding Families campaign, which has been so good and so great.
Awesome, Steph. Well, thank you so much. This is our final stop here on the Feeding Families campaign. We are here until 7 p.m. at Canadian Tire in Midland. Sarah, I'll send it back to you.
No, Luke, I'm still not talking to you, but we'll see you once more before the end of the show. Let's turn to some business news and your markets tonight. Drivers, we are all still feeling the pinch at the pumps once again as conflict in the Middle East pushes gas prices higher. Now, they jumped about 7 cents a litre overnight in our region, with some stations sitting at near $1.79 in Barrie. However, a bit of relief is on the way. Analysts telling us they're predicting a drop tomorrow. Like gas prices, the stock markets have also been on a bit of a roller coaster. Let's move right into our markets. The TSX was up 150 points. The Dow was down 61 and the Nasdaq was up 38. And commodities, oil was up, closing at $111.54 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,679 an ounce. And our dollar was down, ending the day at 71.85 cents US. Still to come, final stop, big impact. We're wrapping up the Feeding Families food drive tonight. We'll take one last look at how your donations are helping local families and how you can still pitch in. I'm sure KC, our flying squirrel, is there somewhere. Stay with us. Here's a look at your primetime lineup. 4 back-to-back episodes of The New Girl starting at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. All right, we have one last check-in tonight with Luke, and I believe KC is likely there too. There's a whole group. Take it away.
The whole group is right. Maximum's here, and we have Maggie the Porch Goose. Incidentally, those of you who don't know Maggie the Porch, viral sensation, viral TikTok sensation. It's a goose. It's not a bunny. Have a look. Yes. And they're selling them here at Canadian Tire. They're coming in, and the Get Up and Go forecast. Thank you very much, Maximum and everybody. Get Up and Go forecast. It's a little on the damp side, whether it be a goose or a squirrel or just about anybody else. Have an umbrella ready because it's cloudy skies. 13 and 14 degrees tomorrow morning. There it is over there. 13 and 14 degrees first thing tomorrow morning as far as the Get Up and Go forecast. And Luke, this is the end. This is the end of the Feeding Families food drive?
Yes, this is the end of Feeding Families campaign. Just a big thank you to everyone who has supported us here in Barrie and in Midland. We couldn't do without you.
Much appreciated. Now we have to hop on it and load this up. Is everybody ready to go? Maggie, gonna help out?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Loving that. Thank you very much. Sarah, have yourself a great weekend. Everybody, happy Easter.
A reminder that tomorrow we have our special Week in Review show at 6. We'll be back live with you on Monday. Good night.